Hey folks, welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. We're a pretty friendly but knowledgeable group around here. The folks who've been following the channel for a long time know their stuff. And it's traditional country, it's Texas red dirt, it's western, bluegrass, it's non-pop country reaction. So anyway, this is a gift request from Jacob Herricks. Jacob, shout out to you. Jacob's down in Texas and he knows his stuff, with especially with the Texas music scene. So I'm going to be doing Robert Earl Keen's Corpus Christi Bay. So Jacob, shout out to you for this gift. REK's Corpus Christi Bay. I don't know this. It's a reaction. Here we go.
I worked the rigs from 3 to midnight on the Corpus Christi Bay. I'd get off and drink till daylight, sleep the morning away. I had a plan to take my wages, leave the rigs behind for good. But that life, it is contagious, and it gets down in your blood.
Yeah.
I lived in Corpus with my brother. We were always on the run. We were bad for one another, but we were good at having fun.
This sounds like a true story.
We got stoned along the seawall. We got drunk and rolled a car. We knew the girls at every dance hall, had a tab at every bar. If I could live my life all I never could stay sober on the Corpus Christi Bay.
They move away.
My brother had a wife and family. You know he gave him a good home, but his wife thought we were crazy, and one day we found her gone.
Ouch.
We threw her clothes into the car trunk, her photographs, her rosary. We went to the pier and got drunk and threw it all into the sea. If I could live my life all over, it wouldn't matter anyway.
That detail about throwing the rosaries in and stuff, that's too precise, I think, to not have been the songwriter's real story, or he knew of someone who he was going to write this for.
'Cause I never could stay sober
Or she.
on the Corpus Christi Bay.
I love his voice. I like the bass there.
Now my brother lives in Houston. He married for the second time. He got a good job with the union, and it's keeping him in line. He came to Corpus just this weekend. It was good to see him here. He said he finally gave up drinking, then he ordered me a beer. If I could live my life all over, it wouldn't matter anyway. 'Cause I never could stay sober on the Corpus Christi Bay. If I could live my life all over, it wouldn't matter anyway. 'Cause I never could stay sober on the Corpus Christi Bay.
Nice. Yeah, you know, it would be hard to stay sober if you think about it too. there were the influences there. One, his brother quit drinking, got a job at the union that kept him in line after he moved to Houston. But then when his brother came back to visit for the weekend, even though his brother quit drinking, his brother bought him a beer. And earlier in the song, he had tabs at lots of places. And so they made it easy for him to drink. And so I get it. I mean, it's his own choice to drink. But the fact that, like, if I had my life to do over, it wouldn't matter anyway because I couldn't stay sober. And then you look at the influences there and you see, well, yeah, it might make it a bit hard when alcohol just keeps flowing your way. And I know a lot of people who've gotten into music themselves and they started to have success in their careers, and people are just buying them drinks because they start out in clubs and people are sending shots and beers and all, and it's just they have trouble drinking and eventually they just have to decide to quit. But it can be a hard decision to make. But I really like Robert Earl's voice. He just, there's just something about it. It's not, he doesn't carry a tune great, but there's just something eminently listenable about his voice when he sings them. This story moved right along, and I'm just convinced this is an absolute true story based on someone's life. I don't know who wrote it. I don't do the research on that. Yeah, and I like the instrumentation in this too. There almost sounded like toward the end there, it was almost like a mariachi Cajun 20% feel, put it that way. It wasn't overdone at all, but I'm like, oh, how are they going to end this thing? It almost sounded like an accordion got brought in for I don't know, 3 or 4 second stretch. I don't think it was, but all right, I'm going to rate this. I mean, this was just a straight up story. It's one of those, I mean, it was a repetitive drum beat, but those work in the right song. The problem, as I've said before, and if you guys share the same sentiment, in Nashville, it's just overdone, that repetitive drum beat. It's just uncreative. It works in certain songs. That's partly why it's done, to keep the tempo up. But in a song like this, the tempo, his life just kept moving along a certain way. His brothers moved on a different path. But man, you could feel it down there. You could feel him on Corpus Christi Bay, or at least looking out over it. All right, the number that popped into my head on this song is an 8.9. Almost a 9. Oh, God. Yeah, I'm going to go with the initial impression that I had. It was almost a 9. It just was intriguing, kept me in there, loved his voice, liked the instrumentation, and I like that it wasn't a snippet of life. It was someone's life. I'm convinced of that. So there you go. So you can thank Jacob for that one, as I do, and there it is. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.